I finally been able to like just sit back and rewatch through Diamond No Waste, you know what I'm saying? It was only the second and third seasons. I didn't watch the first season for the moment kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? I'm so glad I watched it, bro. It motivated me so much to make this. I've been wanting to make this video for a long time. It's just I haven't watched the show. So because I haven't watched the show, I haven't felt like I had enough background to talk about the stuff in the show, you know what I'm saying? But since I watched it, like, it just refreshed so much of my memory. I was like, bro, I gotta make this video. I wanted to make this video about Captain of Seidou, the man of men. We are not kings, we are challengers. Miyuki Kazuya. Miyuki Kazuya, dude.
You fuck up like 600. I ain't talking money, if ain't big money. If you want some, just say something. Now they wanna say something. Niggas talk a lot, might spray something.
Between me and you, real talk, whoever watched on the other side of the screen, bro, straight up, between me and you, Miyuki is one of the absolute coolest characters I've ever seen in any anime. He is so sick. Everything about him, he's so goofy, he's so smart, he be so serious. He was on Sawamura's ass when he was talking shit about Chris. Like, he stand up for what he's really a unique character, and obviously he's OD fantastic. But I just really like his character, even aside from how skilled he is. He's a really interesting character, you know. Definitely one of my favorite characters in any anime. I'm a huge fan of him, actually. Honestly, I'm not even making this video kind of like Miyuki's background and his whole life story. That's not what this video is, honestly. This video is more of a video centered around the fact that Miyuki is low-key the most critical, important person in this entire anime. It's not Sawamura, it's not Furia, not the coach, no. It's really Miyuki. Like, he is the engine of this show. And I really do think there's a big reason why when he's about to leave and go do whatever he's doing, college or the pros or whatever, that the show is coming to an end, like, or the manga is coming to an end. I do think there's a big reason why, because he's actually unbelievably critical, and the way that Terajima used him in this show is kind of sick, you know. And I'm not gonna talk as much about season 1 or his past or anything. I will mention though about his past. He was scouted as a first year in junior high to play catcher. A first year in then went on to be a first-year starter, then started the whole entire way and had to have been one of the best players in Seidou. I don't know the history of Seidou. He had to have had one of the best careers in Seidou, considering he was impactful in his first year, pretty damn good in his second year, and really good in his third year. I mean, and he's playing catcher on top of that, you know what I'm saying? Like someone like Raichu, I call him Raichu, oh my god. It's been so long, bro. It's been so long. Someone like Raichu, he probably have a crazy career when it's all said and done, because the stuff he was doing as a first year is already crazy for a third year to do, and he's doing it as a first year, and then he's getting better year after year. So he's probably gonna end up with one of the craziest careers. He's not gonna get no rings though, probably, but he probably would have had one of the craziest careers. But regardless, in terms of Seidou, I just feel like the way the team works, and usually people don't even play in their first year and whatnot. He was solid in his first year and good in his second year, and literally actually carrying the team in his third year, bro. He's got Mizuno behind him. Like, he can't afford to fail. He cannot afford to fail, bro. But that was the first thing. The second thing is that he was the one that kind of, you know, got the whole ball rolling. He was the one that was willing to catch for Sawamura against Aizawa. Bro, Azuma. I was gonna say Aizawa, but against Azuma. He's the person that made Sawamura feel comfortable to go there, and he's also the reason that Furia went there. Furia went there just for this man to catch his pitch. He was such a critical person from the start of the show that I guess I should have caught on that he was gonna be so critical, but at the same time, I wasn't really ready for how critical he was gonna be. I will real briefly talk about season 1. Like I said, I'm not gonna talk about it too much because I wasn't really in the field watching it and whatnot, but you know, there are some stuff that's worth talking about in season 1. He was impactful in season 1 a lot. The difference is that in season 1, he was more impactful, like as a mentor to Sawamura and Furia than he was, because the first season was really just about Sawamura and whatnot. So he was really Sawamura and Furia. Obviously there was a lot going on, but he was really helpful in teaching like baseball and whatnot. Him and Chris were really helpful. As a player, I mean, he wasn't really that crazy as a player. He's always been an elite catcher from the jump. His catching skill is unmatched. His ability to play catcher at that catcher position, no one should even ever try to match it, bro. It is unmatched. It will not happen ever. ever, bro. But his catching skill is always solid. But as a batter, he was very not good. I'm pretty sure actually it was a thing where he was super unclutch. I'm pretty sure it was a thing where he was super unclutch, and when other people were shining, he was not shining and whatnot. And I think like he hit at weird times. Like I said, I haven't watched it in a little while, but I swear it was a thing where he was like unclutch actually in season 1. He wasn't that great of a batter. Tetsu was a really good batter. Tetsu was an amazing batter. Jun was a really good batter that can make stuff work. Ryu was a really good batter. Yeah, I'll say those guys were really good batters, but I don't think Miyuki was a really good batter. With that being said, the difference in season 1 Miyuki and season 2 and 3 Miyuki is just crazy. Honestly, to be honest, bro, I didn't really think they were even gonna put him as captain. You know, I obviously when you look at it, he was the only option, but he just did not give up captain vibes. And the way that Tetsu was a captain in the show in season 1, I did not think Miyuki was gonna be able to be a captain. You know, Tetsu was like a legit captain. Miyuki is the dude that set Sawamura up to get clowned day 1 by the coach. Two completely different dudes, bro. I was very I didn't know how that was gonna work. Obviously Terajima makes everything work with his pen and whatnot, but I just didn't know how that was gonna work. I will say that team after the the original third years left, that team is sus. That team is so sus, bro. Almost everything about the team is sus except Miyuki. He's the one stable thing in this team, and that's why I'm like he's the whole. If there was no Miyuki, and when Miyuki was out and it was Ono and Okamura and Yui and whatnot, they were selling. I'm pretty sure that they lost those 2 games, if I'm not wrong. They were selling. And obviously they were just, you know, they as rookies, they's first years and whatnot. But at the same time, the team is really not the same without Miyuki, because when he's the only consistent batter and the most consistent defensive player probably in the entire show, I don't really know how the team is supposed to function without him, bro. I'll be honest with you. I don't really understand how, and you know, like I said, it doesn't really work, bro. He starts off kind of rough. I'm pretty sure he starts off rough, you know, not necessarily, you know, it's a little bit pressure trying to always be the captain and be the best player and be the best hitter and be the catcher, and you know, golly, captain catcher cleanup combo, holy crap, bro. But once he figured it out, like it was really over, you know. He really grew a lot as a leader from day to day and understanding what it really means to be a leader. He had his struggles with Mizuno. They beefed to help them make them stronger and whatnot. But also as a batter, I mean, he took off as a batter, bro. He was always top notch as a catcher, but he took off as a batter, bro. I don't know what kind of writing was going on, but he went from someone that was not consistent or clutch to literally the most consistent clutch person. Consistent and clutch. There was a point in this show, I will never, every time I watch it back and I see it, it make me mad, bro. I will never forget this. It's the most hater ass shit in this show, bro. I don't know why and they said it, bro. I don't know why they said it. This is the game, this is the final actually. The final of season 2 versus in the spring versus Yakushi. And here's actually what happened, bro. He was being clutch the entire tournament, and then the previous game before this game in the final, he got cracked by a big dude, bro. Busted his ribs, bro. Cracked ribs. Then after getting cracked, he hits a walk-off home run in the 10th inning. Just yesterday. In the show, that is just yesterday. It's literally, they played a game and the final is the next day. If they're talking about what happened to Miyuki, he used to be so clutch. He was like 0-2 in the game or something. Craziest hate I ever seen in my life, bro. Never seen some hate like that in my life. Man just hit a walk-off home run yesterday to put them in this game. He's playing injured. Obviously, they don't know he's injured. But even if he's not injured, y'all talking about what happened to me. He used to be clutch. What? Bro, I will be teed, bro. Anyways, back to the topic. The thing that makes Miyuki so crazy, obviously, is his skill as a catcher and as a batter, you know. As a batter, like, he just grew so much to the point where he was consistently reliable. He started hitting for power. He started hitting to the right places. He started walking in the right times. It was like he was able to use his catcher mind at the plate and be able to capitalize off that, and it's really crazy that he would be the cleanup, you know. And it's really crazy that he would be the cleanup out of everyone. It's almost like every time you're watching this show and there's a clutch moment, you just know that no one else on the team can be clutch, and therefore Miyuki has to be clutch. That's what it comes down to. It comes down to the fact that Terajima's writing a story, and Seidou has to win the game, you know, for the story to, you know, go the way that it's gonna go. And there's no one on the team that you can justify being clutch except Shirasu, bro. Shirasu is the most underrated person, and I swear he could have been clutcher, you know. Kuramochi is tough, but it's hard. He's a speed demon, you know. It's hard to rely on him to be a perfect batter and be a speed demon, because he just becomes unstoppable. If Kuramochi was a consistent, like, really good batter, he would be like Mima. Like, he would actually just be Mima. They would hit, get on first base, steal all the way to third base. Every time that would happen, bro. The first person of the game gets on base off a walk, gets on base off a hit, or turns the hit into a double. Steals second, steals third. It's the second batter of the game, bro. They already got a runner on third. Yeah, so Kuramochi can't be it, because he would be too OP. Mizuno, he just a seller. He just sells so hard. He's hilarious. Great person for the story. Absolutely fantastic person for the story, but he will not be clutch unless it's some crazy kind of situation, weird clutch play, like in the final when he was clutch. But realistically, Miyuki, for the most part, in most games, he just has to be clutch and anchor the team, because no one else is necessarily strong enough to be clutch. And it ended up making him into a crazy player, because like I said, he's already crazy on the defensive end. He's by far the best defensive player in the entire show. The level of skill he has on defense, it's not even fair. There was one time in the show that I remember that he didn't know everything on defense. That was when they were versing him Urasogo, who had Coach Kataoka's coach, you know what I'm saying? The big dog Kataoka. So that was the one time where he was outsmarting Miyuki and getting in Miyuki's head, so Miyuki wasn't understanding what was going on while Sawamura was pitching. And then once Kawakami came in, Miyuki figured it out. Aside from that, every other time, I swear Miyuki has been perfect on defense, and if there's been a mistake, he said, oh, he threw the pitch too much to the left, oh, he threw the pitch too much to the right, oh, he floated the pitch, oh, it wasn't in the right spot. But it's never that he called for the wrong thing, bro. Every single time he calls for the right thing. And obviously it's a very important part of the show, because this show taught me a lot about baseball, so he has to know everything so that he can explain baseball kind of to me, explain the show in a way where I'll be able to understand what was going on. And for him to do that, he had to know everything. And that's what happened. You know, he just ended up being a perfect defensive player that could always make the right calls. He could always see what the other team was thinking. He would always understand what the pitcher was feeling at that time. Perfectly in sync with the pitchers, knows how to, I mean, some of this is like just good catcher stuff, like knowing how to talk to your pitchers and calm them down and whatnot. But it's like he's perfect at everything on defense, bro. And on top of that, he has a rocket arm and throws everyone out. The combination of Miyuki and Furia is so disrespectful to try and steal on that it's funny. Imagine Furia throwing a 100-mile fastball and Miyuki gunning it, bro. And I don't even know if you make it halfway. I don't even know if like that, bro. Like that, bro. I'm telling you right now. But on defense, Miyuki is just untouchable. The way that he knows everything and his understanding of the game and how to blend everything together, he's really the whole entire reason that the show was able to run so smoothly and work in a way where it could teach me a lot about baseball through season 1, and then just do like they were playing real important games too, but I feel like there was so much in the beginning that's focused on like learning baseball and little baseball stuff, and obviously that's really important, like I'm saying. But once you get to season 2, it's more of them just playing games, you know what I'm saying? It's more about them playing games and Sawamura going through the process of yips and recovering, and you're still learning a lot and whatnot. But I just feel like it becomes a little more competitive than it was before, where it was a lot like learning. And then by the time they get to season 3, you really just get to see Miyuki really just shining as a player. He really took off during season 2 to the end of season 2, when you're seeing him hit a lot of home runs and make a lot of big plays and everything. But once you get to season 3 and then they go through Koshin and then they start playing their games, he really goes in the summer, bro. He's putting on performances in the summer. They're doing his home run count and whatnot for how many home runs he's hitting. He's hitting with wooden bats. Like, you're seeing him really start to take a big leap above everyone else and start to really look like a all-star. And then they make him an all-star, bro. And from there, I think when he makes that all-star team, I think it's just such a lock on like how crazy of a player he is. Everyone on that all-star team was really good. Amahisa was supposed to make it, and Sanda too. They both got invites, worth noting. I'm pretty sure that's what they said in the show. But everyone on that team was really nice. It's hard to scale people and judge people, but you get the feeling that Miyuki is a catcher on the level that Naramiya is a pitcher, and Naramiya is an insane pitcher. It's just that, you know, Naramiya I feel can impact the game so much more from a pitcher, and he had a really good catcher when they went to Koshin and made a deep run. He had a really good catcher, really good catcher, so it was a crazy good pairing. But I do feel like Miyuki is kind of on par with Naramiya in terms of their skill at their respective position. How you value that position, I think, could change your viewpoint of who's better or who's worse. But I think that says a lot, because Naramiya dominates it, you know, and you see him dominate, and you rarely see him make mistakes. And the mistakes that Naramiya makes are not mistakes that Miyuki makes. Only mistakes Naramiya really makes are like mental errors where he get too ahead of himself. He never make a literal skill mistake. Miyuki, he don't make many mental error mistakes, but he'll, you know, here and there make a, you know, skill mistake, or like a, I guess it's more of a, I guess it can be a mental mistake, but he can make it. He's more likely to make a skill mistake than Naramiya is to like misthrow a pitch or something like that. I also feel like the way that Miyuki mentored Sawamura and Furia throughout the whole show is something that's so critical. I mean, it really is. It's really actually the whole show is the way that Miyuki grew them as pitchers. That's actually probably, you could summarize the show into that. Like it really is so critical to the show. There's no way I can't talk about it. There's not much to say, I feel, because it's just him giving a lot of good advice and and him really understanding who they are as people. Like he never tried to develop Sawamura the same way as Furia. He always told Sawamura to take his time and focus on the stuff he could focus on, because he's going to be a different style of pitcher. He always, you know, worked with Furia intensely. He always caught for Furia whenever he wanted and whatnot. He knew how to manage Furia's emotions. He knew how to manage when Furia was slipping in a game. He knew when to just let Furia go, like Furia a Bronco, bro. Sometimes you just gonna go crazy. Sometimes you just let the Bronco go crazy, win the race. He also knew Sawamura and Kawakami. I'm gonna talk about he really deserves a lot of respect for how he knew Kawakami too, because Kawakami a different type of pitcher, but they're in the same year, and he understands how Kawakami feels about the game. You know what I'm saying? I had read a little bit into the manga. I have not finished the manga, so I'm not gonna spoil too much, but there was a point where like he didn't understand Kawakami as well, but for the most part he really does understand Kawakami and how he goes about it and what he's good at and how to use his pitches. 3 completely different style of pitchers. And then for Sawamura, he's just a good big bro to him, bro. He's just a good big bro to him. He gives him good advice. He makes fun of him, you know what I'm saying? He's serious with him at the right times. Like I said, he's patient with him. Even though Sawamura isn't necessarily, for a lot of the show, someone that's necessarily, I would say, critical to the team, because he's more of a reliever, and then for a good stretch, a one-sided reliever because he can't throw inside. He still pays him a lot of mind, and he was still patient in developing him, and he's the reason that Sawamura got the numbers. He tried out all the numbers with him. He tried everything out, and that was probably one of the best decisions in Seidou history. And that's probably one of the, I let her say something, but I'm gonna keep it real. That's probably one of the best decisions in Seidou history, to teach Sawamura those numbers, because it took someone who was a straight fastball guy into someone with 11 different pitches, and that's insane. That is absolutely crazy, bro. So a lot of credit goes to him for the way that he was able to mentor and develop both these players. Like Furia was pitching his best stuff during Koshin. He had really, it's not necessarily Miyuki who, you know, you give him all the credit for it. It was the whole team making Furia feel comfortable, but the way that Miyuki makes them feel comfortable is a very underrated aspect of how good he is as a catcher, especially for someone with such a personality that usually rubs people the wrong way. The fact that when he's got the catcher mask on, he all of a sudden knows how to connect with people the right way, you know, who knows? But yeah, like, that's my video on Miyuki and why I think he the MVP of the entire show. MVP of the whole DNA verse. Such a critical person to Seidou, to the show, to tying Naramiya into it. He's just so important to the show. Like he's really everything in the show. Anyways, I'm gonna catch y'all on the next time. You know, I'm gonna make more Domino Ace videos. I'm gonna try to get more out, you know what I'm saying? I know there's so many of y'all that mess with the show. I love the show so much, and there's so much I can talk about. It's just I just gotta get them out, you know. I just gotta get them out. So I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. And like I always say, you hear me.